that's more to make me feel good about it. It's a placebo effect for me, really. Good morning. I'm Mark. Welcome back to the farm. So starting off on a downer this morning. I think it's time to put Big Red out of his misery. It's been a long time now, and he's not getting any better. So can't drag this out. I think I've been putting it off longer than I should have, but I'm going to do that this morning. All right, that's done. It didn't take very long, which is to say that he really seemed to have not a lot of blood inside his body. I checked him again afterwards just to see if I'd missed something, like are there mites or the things that are draining him or causing problem. There was nothing. So there's a short list of things it could have been. None of them are good. So it's done. So the next step, I guess, is to incorporate the young girls, since they've now started laying eggs, is to bring them over and combine them with the big flock. And they'll meet Sauron, and that'll be a whole nother ordeal. Actually, probably only half as big an ordeal as meeting the rest of the girls, who are not loving and delicate. But there's 10 of them, and they'll cluster together, so that'll be good for them. Meanwhile, I moved the coop this morning from where it was, which was right over here, because we've had 2 straight days of rain, and this area has turned into a pond. Just a bit of a soupy mess. That corner's a pond. There's rejoicing in many quarters for the addition of all the water down here. These guys love it when this area gets flooded from lots of rain. I would actually like to turn this whole thing into a genuine pond. Not a big one, but a small one, and then just make sure everything slopes down. And I just think it'd be a really attractive feature, plus just another source of water that I can control a little bit. But of course, the challenge is, you notice in that corner, the way that the electric fencing is currently, part of it's underwater. So I won't be turning that on today. There's not usually a huge need for it. I was just doing it out of precaution in case the bobcat came back, but that's more to make me feel good about it, because the bobcat, every time I've seen it, has not stopped and touched its little nose to the fence to see what it is. He just jumps right over it. So it's a placebo effect for me, really. But yeah, that'll be fun tonight, combining the flocks, bringing these girls over. Meanwhile, the cows are out here in the backyard now. They're back on grass. They're very happy about it. They're also happy it has stopped raining. The cows are happy. Chickens are pretty happy, even though they immediately ran back down to the waterlogged and muddy, boggy section. At least their coop is not sitting in that. The unfortunate part is that as they run down there and go dig around in the mud, the crows come in and eat out of their feeders. Chicken coop. Gonna add in, that's right, he's excited. Gonna add the other girls. That's 10 more hens going in here. Now on the aggregate, that's only a change of a few hens from what I had in there before the bobcats and the coyotes found us. But I have 20 more pullets in the brooder. And so what I'm gonna need is some more perch space in here. Actually, they can probably get by with the perch space they have. I just think it'd be better to add some more, because I'm sensitive that way. Just said that. Anyway, I'm gonna put in some more perch space. So coming in the back door of the coop, the door that I can use, there is a double row. Now there's a lot of space there. They can all do this. But I got this whole space here with nothing. And I think I'm just gonna, let me back that up a little bit. I'm gonna put in a whole bunch of space, right? Just one more row right here. So tonight when I bring these girls in, I'll set them up on here and down on this rack right here. And that'll just give them a place to be for the night. We'll see how that does. Didn't bother this girl at all. She stayed there the whole time. As soon as I drive away though, they're gonna all go inside and see what I did. Curious lot. Well, the new girls are out here. I got the flocks combined. There's a lot of testing of the waters. There's only been one clash so far, and Sauron broke it up, so he did his job. It's chilly this morning. It's in the high 30s. But don't worry, in like a week it's going to be 80, so I don't know how that works. But combining the flocks last night was a goat rope. If it could be done wrong, I did it wrong last night. I didn't wait long enough for everybody to fall asleep, so when it came to transloading the young cinnamon queens in with the big one, the CQs were not having it. Every time they got picked up, they started screaming bloody murder, which got the rest of the flock fired up, and it was a hot mess. We had two kind of get out and start running around. And then, of course, I forgot to band the legs of the new cinnamon queens before I put them in there. So I'm going to have to chase them down afterwards and get a different color. Their color is pretty distinctive amongst the flock that's out here now. So it's easy to tell them apart. I mean, like, see, cinnamon queen. They're much darker than the gold comets and definitely different from the black australorps. But still, I want to make sure I have those bands on there to be able to tell the generations apart for when the time comes to remove the older hens and send them on to other homes. So it just wasn't our best poultry experience, wasn't my best job with that. But it's done, and they're together. And, as the days go on, they're going to figure out who's who in the zoo and just get back to the business of scratching the ground and laying eggs. Yeah, I got all the hens moved this morning. Oh, I managed to kind of put them on an incline there, but they'll be all right. And their favorite spot out here right now is right out there, which was a pile of wood chips that was much larger a year ago and is now down to that size. And they love digging around in that. All manner of goodies down in there for them. So the young girls that we added in there, they've integrated just fine. They spend a lot of time hanging right around the rooster. That's their safest spot. They occasionally get a nip or a feather plucked by one of the bigger girls if they sort of get in the way, but otherwise it's gone pretty well. And the fact that they were egg laying age and size means they were really able to take care of, like, defend themselves. And so we had one or two flare-ups where two girls would go at it and the rooster ran right in and broke it up, which is what he's supposed to do. So I'm very pleased, even though I jacked up the integration myself. Got the steers moved again. They had all of this out here, and this was getting really long and raggedy looking in parts, like patchy, like a bad beard growing in, and I had them out here for just a couple of days, and you can see it looks like I mowed it. So rather than allow it to get overgrazed and potentially damaged, I moved them again. I just basically closed the fencing off, and now they're sequestered to the east side of the property over here. You can see the fence line. Boink, right there, the poly tape. And they like walking around in the woods and eating all the stuff off the shrubs and all that, which I'm perfectly happy to have them do because I need them to do that because I don't want that stuff growing in. So these guys will help keep all that cut back. Not like the way goats would, but well enough. And then I got their little corral moved over here, so it's closer to where they are. When I had it, originally they had this whole backyard area over here, all the way around. They had all of this, and it was just kind of lazy on my part, but their corral was way over there in that darker part of the woods there near that pile, so right over there. And it was pretty far for them to walk to go get water and stuff during the day, so they weren't really doing it. So I think it's more important to have it close to them. Anyway, so these guys will get in here and clear all this out. And then look at this tree. There's the trunk. Doesn't go very high, but it comes out and makes all of this stuff a good shade spot for them. You know, you can't really tell, but it's trampled down underneath there. They go in there and lay down and take naps and stuff. Well, I wish I had better news on the fence progress. Nothing has changed, and here's why. I had everything loaded up. I got the conduit. I'm ready to dig the trench and put everything and run the wiring underground. However, when I purchased the system, let me switch around. However, when I purchased the system from the company, I read online a thing that said, you know, they don't include the necessary wiring for you to run the fencing, run the electricity to the fence actuators. And I didn't quite understand it, but I purchased a spool of wire from them, and but it didn't work out quite the way I wanted it to. We know that this wiring is not long enough to go the 18 feet to the other side, plus another, say, 3 feet or 4 feet up into the utility cabinet there, or as my wife has taken to calling it, the outhouse. But this wiring, if you can see, has 5, so there's 5 wires to it. All right, 5 wires. The spool that I purchased was only a 2-wire system, so only 2 wires within it. And I had no idea I was going to need to search around on there till I found a 5-wire spool, which they have. But there's no indication anywhere in the instructions or on the website for purchasing that says you need 5. And honestly, I had no idea to look for it. The other thing that's weird about this is, so I purchased that spool. It should be coming soon. The other issue, though, is this is aluminum wiring. Who does that now? I mean, maybe it just looks aluminum on the outside, and maybe it's really copper inside. But the spool of wire that they sell you to run to the power controller, which comes in a 30-foot roll, is copper wiring. Now, I bought some connectors so that I could just slide one in each end, kind of clamp them down and be good. They specifically say for use with copper wiring only. All of them do, for copper wiring only. This is wired with aluminum. You're not allowed to wire, you know, like a house with aluminum, because it was like a major cause of electrical fires, because aluminum has a tendency to expand and contract much more readily and at a greater rate than copper. And so it would expand and contract, and eventually work its way loose from its fitting. And then next thing you know, you're arcing and all kinds of bad things. I don't know why they would build this with aluminum wiring. Well, I got off my rear and I ran the rotary cutter, or brush hog, all down through there and cut back all that stuff that was overgrown that the cows had eaten back but was starting to come back to life. So I cut all that, and then got really crazy and came over here and started cutting trees that I've been saying I'm going to cut for a long time now, getting things out of the way to open up better pasture, more sunlight. Probably 8 trees. I'd like to keep going, actually. I've got, I need to get more barn chain oil, so that's a limiter today. I got just enough to put in there for one more tank full, and I think I'm just going to use it to cut this stuff down into manageable sizes to be moved, and then probably call it there. But it's been on my list to do, and I haven't got to it. I think I could have, but I think I got kind of lazy, and I would just, what should I do? Oh, nothing. I think I'll sit down and read a book. Yeah, I'm retired. Shut up. So that's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to carve these down a little bit, and then, but little by little, I'm going to open it up more and more to get more sunlight out there, to get grass growing for more pasture, because that's what I need. All right. Well, I got this stuff all cut up. I got the stuff out there cut up. I didn't get it moved yet because I got excited and I just went around and started cutting down more trees. So still got to do this, but I got a hard stop right now because I gave myself on a schedule. I got to go in and wash eggs. The reason I do that is because I need to get the baskets so that I can collect more eggs. The girls are all laying really well, and I think it's going to be a very fruitful year as far as eggs go. An eggful year? Does that work? So that's it. You know, we got some other questions. We don't know. We're gonna raise some more meat birds before it gets too hot. I don't know. I don't know. We did a year's worth for us, but you know, other people might want them. We'll see. But for now, got to stop, got to wash eggs, and then get on to evening chores. And that'll take me to the point that it's getting too dark before I come back out here to work on any of this. So, not as much done in the last week as I had hoped. But, you know, 30 years. Tasty bugs. I got 30 years. Well, I've been here 3 years now, so I got 27 more years to finish all this. Yeah. I think that's going to do it from here. We'll talk to you guys later.